Happy birthday, Kokomi, and hello everyone. This is Kokomi. She is still shining as brightly as she ever has for me, and in today's video, we'll just talk a bit about the character. And here's the thing, what do you do on a Genshin character's birthday? Well, most people would say, hey, what about a bit of a birthday art? And I definitely encourage you to go onto Twitter or X and some many other sites, support the artists because they've done some really fantastic artworks for this year. As for myself, we have done artworks in the past and there's been different types of mixed receptions to it. So I thought that, unlike some of the previous years, for this year, I'm going to give you one massive compilation of what I've been doing with Kokomi, how I've been enjoying the character. So in the background, you'll see some footage that involves using in-game glitches that allows us to go to areas and places and sequence break certain quests that you're not normally supposed to do. But the entire idea here is just to say, hey, we've taken Kokomi throughout the entirety of Tevat. And when I say the entirety, I mean really the entirety. So do enjoy the background compilation and see how many of the areas you can recognize. For those of you that are long-time subscribers of the channel, some of the footage you would have seen in previous videos, some of it you wouldn't. And obviously in the upcoming videos, I'll also share some more unique out-of-bounds gameplay, but that's more related to the latest content in the different Luna versions. Alright, so let's chat a bit about Kokomi. So Kokomi is an older character, and this means that when you consider things like gameplay, animations, it's a bit dated. Things like the voice lines haven't really changed. There hasn't really been much development in terms of character quest, and the only real major event that we've really had associated with Kokomi is in the 3.8 summertime event. I mean, even Nouvelette, and I've made this joke on the channel. I've said Nouvelette is going to get a skin before Kokomi, and that prediction has just come true. It's just so crazy how Hoya plays favoritism with different characters. And clearly, look, some of this favoritism relates to things like the meta itself, in other words, the combat meta, what teams you want to use, what characters you want to pull, and it's obvious. I mean, from a meta perspective, Nouvelette is just going to rank higher than Kokomi, and in a lot of the more modern teams, you can comfortably slot in a Kokomi, but if you do look at her alternatives, most notably being Columbina and in a lot of cases Farina, she's definitely going to lead to a bit of a DPS loss if you're strictly going on clearing the abyss as fast as possible, etc. Although for most people that have been playing for a very long time, you'd understand that Kokomi can still work with a lot of the newer characters, and you don't have to have every single one of the new combinations in order to still get value for your current characters and still get value with adding Kokomi to a team. I think Kokomi herself has a lot of that flexibility, and in particular with the Luna reactions, she works really well with the Geo, the Electro, and then obviously the Dendro. So in that regard, even though Kokomi herself is very dated, one of the strengths that we highlighted on this channel a couple of years ago now, can you believe it? It's like almost 5 years, is the fact that Kokomi herself has a lot of role consolidation. And by this we mean that Kokomi herself can heal the team. Because of her HP pool, she can tank quite a lot of hits, especially against newer enemies that might hit a bit harder. She's got a very powerful Hydra application. She's got manageable Hydra application, meaning you can manage how little or how much Hydra you want to put on the field. It's not like Xingqiu and Yelan where you're only going to get the Hydra if you press the N1 button. With Kokomi, you can decide in a bit more of a playful way, like or strategic way, should I say, especially like in Neela Bloom teams, how you want to apply Hydra and then get the corresponding reaction effect, which is pretty cool. Kokomi has a lot of range, so a lot of enemies she can auto-target at quite a bit of range, etc. And generally speaking, when it comes to her DPS, by today's standards, she's not really going to be a unit, even at C6, that you want to put on the field to do damage, but she's going to just be a react enabler. So that's basically what Kokomi does. She's very comfy, and obviously in the overworld you cannot go wrong just having her. Just the ability to plop down a jellyfish and get some extra reactions going is for a lot of casual players, for a lot of people that don't do Imaginarium Theatre and some of these other more combat game modes. You don't understand like how valuable it is. Like a newbie playing in Mondstadt, doesn't know how the game works, is going to be far better off with someone like Kokomi than having someone like Columbina in the party. That said, obviously, as your account matures and you get more and more units, characters like Farina can be very, very valuable. But for most newbies, Kokomi is just such a fun and friendly character to play with. That said, some of the negatives of Kokomi is, like we've said, the fact that she hasn't been given a lot of love and attention from Hoyo. For those of you that are looking at the background footage, you might have noticed the little fancy glider that I'm wearing. This is one of the game mods, or the skin mods for the gliders that I'm running on the account, and hence I'm not showing any UIDs on today's video. But you can definitely see that the community, in terms of giving Kokomi skins and skin ideas and gliding mods and so on, they've definitely done far more than Hoyo does, which is a bit of a shame. And in today's video, in today's Twitter post by Genshin themselves, they kind of hinted that Kokomi has an underwater base, which if we get a new Inazuma region and they can give us an underwater expansion onto Inazuma, and Kokomi is then going to be the one leading us to doing a bit of a different type of like underwater, or give us different underwater dynamics than what we had in Fontaine, that could be super, super cool. But once again, I wouldn't hold my breath for it. I think Hoyo themselves, they typically only go for what's going to sell, and I don't think that, given the fact that Kokomi has a massive island already dedicated to her, and in a quasi way the whole of Sangonomiya, that they're going to really dedicate any more resources to it. So that's kind of a bit of a shame for me. However, one of the cool things that we have recently is the fact that we've got the Miliastra Wonderland, so you can play with Kokomi as a character in a variety of game modes. This obviously means you can play your fantasy with Kokomi if you find a game mode or if you create one yourself. So it's not like you're truly limited, but it would be nice to see a bit more official support for Kokomi. So in a certain extent, Hoyo has extended the longevity, but wouldn't it be so cool if some of those Miliastra skin bundles you could directly apply as a skin bundle to Kokomi? That would be so cool, and new animations and the like. So yeah, look, overall for me, I play with Kokomi as almost an MC type of character. She's mostly or largely in my party unless I'm doing like showcase videos. And I've been around with Kokomi like everywhere, in Simulanka, in different, like as you can see there in the background, even in places that you would not even expect to see Kokomi, like traveler only domains. And that is an entire class of glitches that some very interesting Chinese glitchers are very interested in watching, but I'm not going to teach them that, nor the Indians. Yeah, there's a whole story behind that, but just know a lot of people contact me, and they're kind of getting frustrated just seeing Kokomi in all of these funky places. But I mean, I've got to keep all my secrets. With that said, I don't get bored playing with the character. So the point that I'm trying to make is, despite the fact that I've got all this footage I can show you, and I mean this is just a stripped down version, I've been to all these places, I still find some comfort in actually playing with Kokomi. So she's almost like this comfy character, this character where it's the end of the day, you're kind of tired, you just want to hop on and you just relax. And that is ultimately, I think, what this character represents for me. And we've made this whole channel a channel about or surrounding the character. So this is the other thing. How do you keep getting fresh content ideas when you have very little support from Hoyo themselves as regards the character? It's very, very difficult. I've done things like skin mods in the past, and that's been met with some mixed reaction. We've done, like I said, birthday arts in the past. That's also been met with mixed reactions because not everyone likes the styles and the kind of more sexier art styles that I've drawn. Not I've drawn, that I've commissioned for someone else to draw with Kokomi, because I can't draw for to save my life. So that's kind of the case there. But yeah, it really is very, very difficult. And for me as a Kokomi main, even though you might not see as many videos on the channel, do note that somewhere in the background I'm having a ton of fun. And I've even started getting people that are on my friends list in Genshin. I've started teaching them some tricks to also come out and have some fun with me in some of these bizarre domains. So some of the co-op experiences have been fun as well. So let's start wrapping up. Kokomi for me is such a beautiful character. I think the characterization, the theming with the character, the colors, the design, everything is really what I like. So I think this is one of the very few characters that really resonates me to the point of still playing with the same character for 5 years. I mean, that is quite a bit of dedication, and that's just what I wanted to share on Kokomi's birthday. For me, a birthday is not just a case of throw all the fan arts and yay, happy birthday, Kokomi, and then a week later we're all going to be like, for example, yay, happy birthday, Ayaka, and then we all forget about Kokomi. So, I mean, I'm not that type of person. For me, it's all about the fact that as part of the everyday or every second or third day, I play with Kokomi, and that for me just makes me very happy. And that's what I wanted to share with all of you guys today. So thank you so much if you've made it to this end of the video, and have a great day, and do enjoy some of the Kokomi birthday art. Cheers and keep well.